going to, hold on. Aha! We are going to close out this wonderful salon with this man. This book, which he has not been around for a while, so we haven't been able to tout it. But if you buy anything tonight, buy this book. He will autograph it for you. He was sitting right in the back. Let me just mention something that he got. He has a wonderful quote here. Steve's life is a lot like Hugh Hefner's, but without the money, the women, or the mansion. Most guys talk about sex. Most guys lie about sex. Steve doesn't. He makes the same mistakes we all make, but he tells you about them. A funny look at growing up on the fringes of show business, Jay Leno. Truly one of the best books you could hope to buy. Filled with stories, jam-packed from the salon, from other places. He is an amazing, outstanding writer. Buy this book tonight. It's not just putting, number one, you know, so like an artisan, a local artisan, you're putting money in his pocket, and you're keeping it in the neighborhood, or kind of sort of neighborhood, and you will not regret this. This is inspiring, a powerful book. We don't get a chance to see him a lot because he lives a lot further away, so when he does come here, it's extremely special. He is deeply beloved. He is how you write a story. He is a trip to the moon on gossamer wings. Mr. Steve Robinson.
Hope I'm good. I worked for TV Guide for 24 years, and I've been out of the entertainment industry now for about 6 years, and I've been out of the music industry for ever. So it took me a while to find this, thanks to Entertainment Weekly, to which I still subscribe, and that's pretty much my source of information now. This is from a couple of weeks ago, the same week that Phyllis Diller and Tony Scott died. This is under deaths. Bob Birch, 56, Elton John's bass player of 2 decades, died in LA on August 15th in an apparent suicide. Wow. I thought, what are the odds? So I Googled him, and Bob Birch, 17 years ago, was in an accident in which he broke his back and both legs. Wow. Since then has been in constant pain. And so apparently that. In his resume, it said, in addition to playing with Elton John, he played with everybody. Billy Joel, Stevie Wonder, Sting, Phil Collins, Cher, Shirley MacLaine, Leanne Rimes, Clint Black. He played at a Nobel Peace Prize ceremony. He played with Luciano Pavarotti, Sheryl Crow, and me. Before he was Elton John's bass player, Bob Birch was my bass player. About 27, 28 years ago, I was a singer. Not with a record, or a career, or any accomplishments. I was a student in the Bob Birch vocal performance class. I thought, if I could learn to do something I didn't think I could do, that would make it easier for me to do things I thought I could do. And I think we can all see how that turned out. I had to audition to get into this class, and the morning of the audition, I was petrified. And I called a good friend of mine in Denver, hoping that she would agree that this is a bad idea and I could drop it right now. And she didn't go for it. She made me go. She said it would be fun, it would be a challenge. I went to the audition to Bob Birch's assistant, whose name was Paula Williams, and she looked exactly like Paul Williams. I passed the audition, I made it into the class. After 4 weeks there was a recital. if you did well at the recital, you could be in the showcase, which meant a band. I got into the showcase, and that's how I met Bob. Bob was in the band that backed up the singers for the showcase. I knew nothing about music, and the band was 4 guys, and they made it easy. Bob looked like a rock musician. He had big hair and a smile that just didn't quit. And I knew him for about 3 years. I did the showcases, sometimes I emceed the showcases, and at one point I get into the Gardenia, the supper club on Santa Monica Boulevard. Did a one-man show there with my band, including Bob Birch. And this happened, I told this story and I got to tell it with Bob standing behind me. My one-man show was a mixture of songs and little comedy bits, usually about women who'd hurt me or women who'd broken my heart. You know, women. And I would do songs and comedy, and weave them around. And I got to tell this story. And you'll forgive me if it sounds a little too stand-up-ish, but a relationship ended, so I bought a VCR. Everybody know what that is? My relationship ended, so I bought a VCR, which turned into a relationship in itself. My first video that I bought was a Playboy video centerfold. $10. I was pretty excited. Took it home, put it in the machine, and it opened with the woman taking a shower and getting dressed up for a hot night on the town. So I paused the tape, went and took a shower, got dressed up for a hot night on the town. Came back, started it up, and she goes to a very trendy, popular Hollywood nightclub, and she parks right in front. Kind of freaked me out. She goes in and she's on the dance floor dancing with another woman, I might add. And there's a lot of atmosphere shots, and at one point the screen is kind of full of black, and it pulls back just a little bit, and it's all hair, and it pulls back a little farther, and it's Bob Birch. And I got to do this because he's right there. I go, and it's this guy, it's Bob Birch. And Bob, big hair and that smile, he looked great. And then I said, and he's rocking along and desperately trying to make eye contact with the woman. I go, and I'm joking with my band, and I think, wow, I'm an entertainer. And I said, thank God for fast forward. And that got a laugh. And I read through the guest book that the obituary had, read every entry there was, 158, that last count. And people knew him from being with Elton John for 20 years. And what I really loved was so many people mentioned the smile and the spirit. And they knew the same guy that I knew 27 years ago, who was warm and open and always wanting to help the other guy. He made me feel comfortable. There was one time we did something in Long Beach. Me and 2 guys I knew, him and somebody else, and 2 guys I didn't know. My part did not go fantastic. But when I got off, Bob gave me that smile and said, that was funny. Like, you were too hip for the room tonight, but you were funny. And he always made me feel special. And to think about how his life ended is incredibly unpleasant. But I will always be grateful that I, several times in my life, got the chance to say, ladies and gentlemen, on the bass, Mr. Bob Birch. Thank you.